Today, we're making pickles.
If you saw my previous video that went up probably right before this one, you'll know that I made some hot sauce by fermenting some jalapenos and then pureeing it, essentially. I fermented it for 2 weeks and it turned out pretty good. In the video I was a little concerned because the brine became kind of viscous and it was kind of thick, a little slimy, and I thought that was strange, but I looked it up online and they said that the type of bacteria does that to the brine, and once the bacteria slows down, the brine will thin out again and stop being like that. So there's nothing to worry about it. So I'm pretty confident that I did that one well. So I wanted to make another video where we do one traditional pickle and one not so much. So we're gonna pickle some of these Kirby cucumbers, and we're just gonna make a straightforward dill pickle. And then we're gonna also pickle some plums. This I'm gonna pickle more for the brine than the actual plum itself, because I think if it turns out right, it's gonna make a really nice vinegary liquid that I can use as a dressing, a marinade, something like that. But we'll see how it works out. So like I said, in this recipe, I'm going to be brining 3 Kirby cucumbers with a little red onion, some garlic, and some dill, and then these 3 plums just by themselves with just a little bit of salt and a little bit of water. And we'll see how. So I've washed all my produce in my jars really well, just to make sure that there's nothing extra inside that we don't want. And now I'm gonna start with the pickles. I wanted to do 3 and I wanted to keep them whole, but unfortunately only 2 fit. So we're just gonna do 2 for today. So first I gotta peel my garlic. I like to just cut the little end off. And then I'm gonna slice my onion, kind of thick chunks. And then the next thing that we need to do is weigh all of the ingredients. I'm gonna do it in grams because it's gonna be much easier to calculate how much salt we're supposed to put. And I'm also gonna add just a little bit of red chili flakes. About, I'd say, a teaspoon. So that gave us about 357 grams-ish of produce. So we know that it's just a little bit over 7 grams of salt that we need to add, because what we're doing is we're doing 2% of the weight of the produce in salts. And that should be just enough salt to keep any bad bacteria out, but also let the lactobacillus grow inside and ferment the pickles. So let's add, I'm just gonna do 7.5 just to be on the safe side. I mean, it's like the difference of 0.3 grams or something like that. So it shouldn't hurt anything. There we go. So next, we're just gonna fill the jar with water and then add a little something to keep all the vegetables submerged. For the plums, I just wanna take out the pit. So I'm just gonna cut these guys in half and give them a little twist and then pop the pit out. These are super ripe, so it's very easy to get that pit out and to split them in half. So there we go. There we go. Now we gotta weigh them and find out how much salt to put. Oh, it's like the perfect fit. Now that they're covered with water, just to make sure that they stay submerged completely, I've learned a trick where we're gonna take some plastic wrap, put it on the surface of the vegetables inside, and then we're gonna fill that with some more water, and that's gonna weigh the vegetables down so that they stay submerged completely the entire time. Just like this. Now what I found out when I was doing the jalapeno one is that the water that you use to submerge the produce with will evaporate. So every couple days you want to check it and just add a little bit more water to it so it just keeps everything submerged. Okay, there it is. And we get our lids. And now this won't make an airtight seal, which is good because you want the gas from the fermentation to be able to escape. But at the same time, it's still gonna keep the vegetables submerged so that they don't get exposed to any not so good bacteria or anything like that. And I'm gonna store them in a dark, dry place between 73 degrees and 80 degrees. Hopefully we don't have another heat wave. And we'll check on them again later once they start fermenting, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So it's been 24 hours since we put these in the cupboard to start the fermentation. And as you can see, it's going pretty strong. The water's starting to get cloudy. That's evidence of the lactobacillus activity. And they both smell great. For whatever reason, when they start fermenting, it's not like when you do sauerkraut, when it smells that like sulfury, off, gross smell. These smell like what's being pickled. Like this one, you smell the dill and the chili flakes and the onion and the pickle in general. It just smells like great dill pickles. And the plums just smell like fruity and sweet. It's hard to describe, but it smells great. So that's the first step. Let's check back on these guys in about 2 weeks and see how they're developing. They might take a little bit longer than that. I know that the cucumbers can go for months, supposedly. Like I said, this is my first time trying it, so we'll see how it works. If you liked this video, hit the like button and maybe subscribe. If you have any questions or opinions, share them in the comment section below. I've got a lot of things in the works, so there's gonna be more stuff coming up, and the second video to this one should be in 2 weeks unless something else develops.